Okay, we left off on 289. I don't want David to get confused. We're holding Hanukkah now. By the way, we're almost holding Pesach. He'll end up eating latkes when it comes to Pesach. You never know. Okay. Okay, we just did the Mechaber. Aleph. Hamadlik v'leil rishon v'orch sholosh brachos. One who lights the lights on the first night once it's 3 brachos. What are they? Lahadlik ner Chanukah, shos nisim shechiyonu. V'mlo berach is man b'leil rishon. One didn't say shechiyonu the first night of Chanukah. Nevorach b'leil sheni. Once it's on the second, okshi yiskar. As long as it's still Chanukah, even on the 8th night, once it's shechiyonu. If one didn't say it on the first 7 nights. So we left off just with Beis in Mishna Berura. Okshi yiskar. Rotzlom okshi yiskar b'shar leilus b'shas hadloka. This is very important. When do you say shechiyanu? We say all the brachos before we light, at the time of the lighting. What happens the first night? You lit all of them, you've got to say shechiyanu. You say shechiyanu that night, or because you're going to light tomorrow night, you should say shechiyanu the second night. When is it better? So he says, he cites the Levush. Levush is a student, Talmud of the Ramah. Says it's better to wait for the second night and say the shechiyanu when you light the candles the second night. If a person, let's say, is not lighting, he only has enough oil for the first night. Forgot to say shechiyanu, then of course you say shechiyanu the first night. Because why is the second night any better than the first night? But if you're going to light the second night, it's better to say the shechiyanu when you actually light the candles. Same thing, it's explicit. Or by sukkah. Person forgets to say, right, shechiyanu on the sukkah. Or on Yom Tif. So it says you go until the 7th day, you say shechiyanu.
But Rabbi, isn't there a principle that one has the opportunity of accomplishing a mitzvah, it's better to not delay it and say it right away instead of postponing it to the next day?
I tell you, that's one of the best questions Rabbi has ever asked. Shouldn't delay it. It's a good question. But what about you're going to do it better tomorrow? Right? I mean, shechiyanu, the whole idea of shechiyanu is, especially when it comes to Chanukah, is Pirsumi Nisa. Right? It's to publicize the miracle. Shechiyanu, we've come upon this Yom Tif. When do you have a greater display of Pirsumi Nisa? When you light the candles, or you just say the bracha, shechiyanu? You're saying shechiyanu. Shechiyanu what? In what context? Something special, something new. But when you light the candles, it's a greater display, so therefore it's better. That's the overriding factor. That's why it's better to wait. But that's what he said. But let's say tomorrow night's not going to light candles, then you say shechiyanu the first night. Of course, you don't have the overriding reason. No, still not. We hold hadlokos a mitzvah. The lighting is the mitzvah. The burning is not the mitzvah. Yeah, I understand that. But it's the lighting. The mitzvah is to say it when you light. When you're doing the act of Pirsumi Nisa. Let's say your candles burnt out, somebody else's candles are still burning. But you have no relevance to those candles. Same thing. Once the candles are lit, this is a consequence of your lighting. Okay, let's see, Beis. Leil Sheni, Rishon Ve'elech. Meaning, after the first night going forward, Mevorach Shtayim. You only say 2 brachos. Lahadlik, Shos Nisim. Hagov, Yivorach Kol HaBrachos Kodem Sheyaschel Lahadlik. Now, some people, they make a mistake. They say Lahadlik Ner, and they light, and then they say Shos Nisim afterwards. No. Ramos says both brachos should be said before you actually do the lighting. Shtayim, Lahadlik Shos Nisim. The Gam Kol Yoma Isa. The Nes Kol Yoma Isa. Also, right? Say all 3 brachos before you. Sharei Koshman Yom Hidliku Min Apach. Avozman Shigiyonu Lascholas Asman Higiyonu. Shos Nisim. Saying something interesting. No, there's a famous question which the Beis Yosef asks, we celebrate it for 8 days. It says there was enough oil to burn one night, and it burned 8 nights. So if that's the case, it was only 7 days. The miracle was 7 days. It wasn't 8 days. Beis Yosef did many, many answers. Beis Yosef himself gives a number of answers. One of the answers he gives was they took the oil and they divided it into 8 parts. So therefore, even the first night, it was a ness. So because the Mishna Berura is addressed, we say, Sh'osa nisim lavoseinu. What do you mean? Sh'osa nisim. And once it was burning, well, what's the ness? You know, and especially the second night when it burns, if you're not aware that it was burning the first night, look, you have the right amount. Let's say it's the full amount of oil. It's the full amount of oil is burning. Or some say it only burnt an eighth. All the oil was there. The first night it burnt an eighth. So therefore, even the first night was a miracle. It didn't usually the full amount burns the first night. Only an eighth of it burnt the first night. So then the miracle was even the first night. Because the problems with the Beis Yosef's answer, you divide it into 8 parts. Because the halacha is that when you fill the vial, the menorah, you have to put in the full amount of oil. So initially, otherwise the menorah doesn't consecrate the oil. So if you only put an eighth, you're putting less than the amount. So the menorah is not going to consecrate the oil. That's one of the questions they ask on the Beis Yosef's answer, that it was divided into 8 parts.
So they didn't know the first year that it was going to burn like this.
They relied on the miracle. That they believed that Hashem would.
Okay.
Okay? No. They knew the miracle immediately. Let's say according to the answer, they divided into 8 parts. Right? So what's the value? Light, put the full amount and see what happens. It fully burns out, so you don't have oil. So you have no choice but to wait till you process new oil. But l'chatchila, it's like ein som chanal nes. We rely on miracles, but for whatever reason, they did rely on a miracle. I mean, that's the difficulty with that answer. To say every night you put the full amount the first night and only an eighth burned. So that you saw that only eighth, so you lit it again the second night. You put it out, relit it the second night. And it continued. This famous question which Reb Chaim asks, and it's typical Reb Chaim Brisker. He asks, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a miracle, that the oil that was old enough to burn one night burned 8 nights. Hashem should have provided miracle oil, right? Like you find by the story with Abadja, he passed away, and he told him to bring vessels and just kept pouring. So good. So why have miracle oil? So that's what he says. Because you need Shemen Zayus. That's called Shemen Nes. Understand? It has to be natural oil. Miracle oil doesn't qualify for the lighting of the menorah. That's Shemen Nes. Okay?
If you hold that the nest is divided into 8 parts, why not say Shiriyanu on the second, third, fourth, and so on night?
Okay. We'll discuss it. I'm not going to get off. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Okay. So he says because every day was a miracle. She'osa nisim lavosenu sharei kol shmona yomim hidliku bin apach avol zman shehigionu lascholas azman higionu lazman hazeh. Hear this? He's addressing higionu. Hashem has allowed us to arrive at this moment. So when do you arrive? At the beginning. So what repeats itself, you've already been there. You understand? The text is higionu. We've arrived at this particular moment.
Well, we arrive every day at this particular moment.
Okay? Kodem shiyaschel hadlik. The Ramos says that when you say the brachas before you start lighting, the binu shia brachos over lasiyoson, any birchas mitzvah has to predicate the mitzvah, precede the mitzvah. Hidlak ner Chanukah v'shochech levorach hadlokosa. Interesting question. We rule hadlokos a mitzvah. He lit the candles. He forgot to say the bracha. Does he say the bracha now when they're burning? Rakodim sheidlek kula niskav adayin lo berach. Let's say it's the third night. He lights one, and he realizes he didn't say the bracha. If he lit all of them, he definitely doesn't say the bracha. It's not even the question, right? He can't say lahadlik, right? But what about he's lit one and now he has two left? So when he lights the other two, does he say the bracha? Doesn't he say the bracha? Yesh lo levorach kol habrochos. You should say Chuvas Rabbi Vayikra. Even though the other even though it's hidur mitzvah, right? Let's say it's the first lighting in the household. Od kos, because it's really no worse that our minog, the base mitzvah is to light one set of candles, one candle for a household. Right? Mahadrin is everybody should light a candle. Mahadrin is that each person should light a candle per night. So therefore, let's say one person lights the first candle from the household. Anybody who follows is hiddur already. So therefore, so you see that the second person says a bracha. So you say a bracha on a hiddur mitzvah. So therefore, if you lit it first, and then you realized that you didn't say a bracha, you still could say l'hadlik there. Because the second candle for the first person is no worse than a second person if the first person already had lit in the household. Doesn't make a difference. No. You don't have to have that in mind whatsoever.
But if they do, I'm enlightened, so I don't.
Doesn't make a difference. No, it doesn't. It has nothing. If you're part of the household, you're covered, whether you want to or you don't want to. The obligation is on the household. You have to have one candle per household. That is the base obligation. Whether you want to be covered, you don't want to be covered, you're covered. It's not like a shemei kona. It's not that kind of thing.
Even if I'm not there, I'm covered?
That's for a different reason. Because it's a question of marasayim. If you're elsewhere, somewhere else, it appears that you're not commemorating the miracle, therefore you should light candles. That's why you light elsewhere.
So how can I make a bracha?
We had earlier. That's what it is. You could say it. That's the way the original. We had a situation where you have two windows in the house facing opposite directions. At one time, where they would light on the outside of the house, not on the table. So we said you light in both windows. We have multiple residences. At one time, you would light in all those residences. You would say a bracha. It's not simple. If you're somewhere else, you light. It's not simple. If your wife is lighting at home and you're elsewhere, it's not simple that you light. If your wife lit in the house, even if you're traveling, it's not simple.
So why is it that if I'm counting late, and my family lights early, that I should still light?
Because our minig is everybody lights for themselves. Right? If you light, your children light. So if you've children, now you light. Same idea. According to the sheep position of Mechaber, that's one set per household. The father comes home, he doesn't light. Don't have to. Most so you could sing together. You wait till everybody's lights. Okay, this is like, give everybody the revius, for the cup of wine, and we'll say cheers. Okay. So what does that have to do with this? Okay, so you all sing together. Therefore, what? Okay. No, it's not a Shemei Kona. Never. Even if you're not in the room, somebody lights, and you're somewhere else. Yotze, you come home, the candles are burning. The candles are already out. You have no obligation to relight.
The point of all saying the bracha together doesn't. Everyone is participating in it together. It's not as if
Each one's doing his own thing.
No, I understand that, but it's different than sequence.
Maybe it's Barov Adras Melech. As we say, you do something in unison, it just brings the mitzvah to a higher level. But in terms of the actual mitzvah, what's being performed, it's the same mitzvah. Whether you sing together or you do it together, you do it consecutively. It's all the same thing. If your wife lit in the house and you plan to come at night, you have no obligation to light. Yeah, if your children lit, then you should light.
What's the difference?
Because the wife and the husband are the same person, are the equivalent of the same person. Right? Like he cited earlier that women light But a wife does not light when the husband lights, because the daughters are independent, even though they're supported by the father. But still, our minig is each person lights.
The wife is one unit.
Is one unit with the husband. Correct. Okay. I just want to finish. Od kosev shimniska lachshid lekulam. What about if the person realized he didn't say the brachas, he lit all the candles? Elo levorach birchas ladlik. Ladlik he should not say. Rak birchas she'osen nisim. Kein birchas she'echero yesh levorach. That he should say. She'chionu. Okay? Even that's not what he said earlier. Shosen, because shosen, what's the halacha? One doesn't have candles whatsoever. And the Gemara says in Shabbos, and you're walking down the street, and you see somebody's candles burning. When you see the candles, you say shosen nisim. Even though you're not, but it has to be candles that were lit specifically for the miracle, to commemorate the miracle. You say shosen nisim, you say shechianu. Well, you're not yotzei mitzvah of lighting, but you have an obligation. You say shosen nisim, because what he's doing, it has a relevance to me. No, the obligation to say once during.
Well, we said the mitzvah is the lighting, not the.
No, then that's lahadlik. That's lahadlik. The person has no candles, right? Person has no oil, has no candles. Now we sees a menorah burning. Do you say shosen nisim?
Because that's the only opportunity he has.
When they use the cherry picker to light on, when what's it called, Army Plaza? How high is that menorah? Is it 20 amos? Because the question is, if you see those candles, do you say shosen nisim? Right? Because that lighting is right. Did they say bracha on that lighting? Yeah. They do. It's not simple. It's not simple to say bracha on that. Not simple.
Yeah. They do the maximum allowed.
It's Chabad, you realize. They do things differently than most other people. They have their own way of ruling. Other people may disagree. Como once lit it, no? I'm not sure. I'm only joking. Okay. Yeah. Okay, exactly. No, there's a mitzvah. No, you just acknowledge it. Acknowledging is a no. No.